What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another amazing show of the Brandon Bonanza podcast. I'm so excited to be here today. I always say that, but I am excited. I love to podcast. I follow my excitement like Daryl Anka says, not Paul Anka, right, Sharon? I know she's listening. Um, we have a quote for today, and I am going to share that in like 1 second. But just to keep everybody up to speed, Sharon is okay. She's feeling a little bit under the weather. Sure, we're going to be on next week and we're going to talk all about it. But she had a bit of a sore throat last night. She's feeling better. She thought she'd be good. We had a plan, but then, alas, when she woke up, she had a frog in her throat. So you know how that goes. She was not, or she had a sore throat. I just want how I feel about frogs. Yes. So today's quote, I'm just giving it a great title. Um, and I'm so excited to talk about the tarot today because it's been a while since I've talked about the tarot specifically. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I have a podcast with my friend Ashley, who lives in or near San Francisco, California, called the Tarot Bowl podcast, and we talk about tarot and stuff. And we haven't really been recording. We recorded a few episodes in the beginning of the year, but we started in 2018. We covered every single card, and if you go to tarotbowl.com, you can listen to those. And it was really interesting. That's how we met Michelle Albers from JD Wellness. We met her through doing an episode. We met her on Instagram through our terrible Instagram and people we were following. And then we did a show with her. And since we have met in person, she's an amazing person. So check out the Terrible podcast. And I will gonna check the chat right quick. Not Paul. That's right. So, is anybody in here? Let's see if we have people watching. What do we got for? We got one viewer and it's two viewers. Okay, we're climbing the ladder. We went from one and now we are at two. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit more before I read today's quote to see if we can get a few more people into the lovely chat box. And so terrible.com for the terrible podcast. And if you go to comedylol.com, that was one of my first websites. That was actually more laws, more problems.com is older than comedy LOL, but comedylol.com is the podcast the website I started when I started to podcast. So if you go there, there's a bunch of stuff there too. So if you're just a Brandon nerd and you want to get your Brandon needs, those are all the websites to hit up. And yeah, so let me just bring in today's quote and people will just have to catch up. Ketchup and mustard. Today's quote is from Friedrich Nietzsche. But I need solitude, which is to stay. Sorry, I'm going to try that again. Take two and action. But I need solitude, which is to say recovery, return to myself, the breath of a free, light, playful air. Once again, that is Friedrich Nietzsche. I really like this quote because it reminds me of like Dark Night of the Soul kind of stuff, shadow work, if you will, and also just being an introvert that I am. And, I don't know if this is just exclusively to introverts. I'm sure extroverts will feel this way too, but sometimes you just need solitude. Sometimes you need to get away from extra sensory input. Speaking of sensory input, and hang out, right? With yourself and be okay with it. I think that's the key. I wrote about this in my book, Shadow Worked, that it's just you just go find somewhere that's quiet and the stuff that you need to work on, it'll just start coming up. And shout out to Caribe Root, our amazing friend Carmen, who shared this video in the Over Sharon chat, the exclusive Over Sharon Telegram chat where only the coolest people hang out. If you'd like to be a part of that chat, hit me up. Let us know. Comment. We'll get you in there. We'll vet you and get you in there. But she shared a video with Aaron Abkey and this other guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but they were just talking about effort and effort versus feeling, and how when you want to do something the way we've been raised in this society is to make effort toward it. And that always sounds like good advice, right? Like, so if I wanted to be a comedian, I would start to write jokes and go to open mics and put in a lot of effort. And not that that's wrong, but what they were saying was, could it be that things have changed, or maybe just not things as in the whole realm or the whole world, but just things as in, oh, what's up, Tony? What's up, Zindra? Hello from Stockholm. Hello, how was Stockholm today? I gotta listen to a Swedish person talk, and then I could see. I know Stockholm's in Sweden. See, look at that. And I don't even have Stockholm syndrome. I went to the doctor. I'm like, hey, you got anything for the Stockholm syndrome I got? So effort, they're saying things are changing. It could be the realm. Maybe, hey, it could just be on a personal level. Once you start raising your consciousness and doing work on yourself and stuff, you get to a certain point. And I feel like I'm experiencing this exact thing. So it was really exciting, but because it could be perceived as a bad thing, like writer's block, or, any of these procrastination methods that people talk about. Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. Hi, Sharon. Hope you're feeling better today. Art walk meetup tonight. No pressure. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah. So normally you'd put in this effort, right? And what they're saying is, instead of putting an effort, you just feel it. You start to feel kind of like the whole fake it till you make it, but you feel that feeling. And I've heard of that before, like manifestation. Even that book, The Secret, talks about it, or Bashar, or Joel Goldsmith, all these people that we've listened to and have talked about it. And it's like, even Archaics, I heard him, he did this Q&A. And again, I'm not even going to give any more disclosures anymore. Listen, we like who we like, it doesn't mean we're like best friends with everybody. But anyway, the reason I do like listening to him is because his point of view, and he is so positive about things. So once in a while I will catch a stream of his. So I was driving and I saw he was live, and I'm like, hey, why not? And he was talking about that exact thing, about feeling and about doubts and the voice in your head, and that little terrible voice in your head, that evil voice, that one that berates you. And remember, you're not that voice. You're the one who's listening to that voice. It is Sweden's National Day today, the 6th, but Swedes in general aren't that patriotic, nationalistic. I was gonna go to a daytime party, but depression got the best of me and I slept all day instead. Well, we're happy to have you here at the Brandon Bonanza podcast, and maybe I can make you laugh, because that is what I try to do. So you are my online friendly friends for the evening. There you go. All right. Yeah, sometimes, it's just like that quote I read, Zindra. Sometimes you need to take time for yourself. And I feel like right now, so I know it seems like I'm going in a million different directions, right? But this all has to do with the same thing: thinking versus feeling. Maybe it has something to do with these coronal mass ejections that are going on, these sunspots or whatever. And I saw something last night that was pretty crazy. I was driving home. I have some good news to report. I got to drive my motorcycle yesterday for a little bit. Excuse me. I was going to bring it here because I keep it at my friend's house, who has a garage and stuff, and he has a motorcycle. He was working on a buddy's bike and didn't have his, so he came. Anyway, long story. So I was out for a little ride by myself, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and then on the way home, I was driving my car home here to my place. It's like an hour drive or whatever. And it got dark. And as I was almost home, I was on this long wooded road, and above in front of me, about a quarter mile, I saw a flash, and then it like turned into daylight in front of me. It was crazy. It got so bright from where that flash was. And it was a transformer exploding. So Hey, what's up, Austin? What's going on? Sorry we had to reschedule. You were so cool about it. Thank you so much. Sharon's actually in here in the chat, but her throat is not up to snuff, so we want don't want her talking. That's like the worst thing you could do. I know this as a professional talker. I always to say hi, stay high. She's see, she didn't lose her wit though. That's good. So I saw this transformer explode, and as I went by, there was some branches near there that were on fire. It wasn't anything bad; it looked like they were kind of going out the trees or whatever. So I immediately called 911, being the responsible man that I am, and let them know, and they knew exactly where I was. I was like, I'm on. I'm trying to figure out what street, and they're like, "Oh, you're on this street." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." Like, thank you. I was like, "Yep, it's just south of this street because I passed another street." Um, so I saved the day. Is basically what's going on. Higher than bird pussy. Yeah. Yeah. That's how we keep it here on the Brandon Bonanza show. Super classy. Super. So I saw this transformer explode, and who knows what could have caused that to happen. There were houses in the area, but it was mostly wooded in this area I was driving. So I don't know. Maybe it has to do with these things that are going on. Maybe everything's getting a little wonky, right? If And it reminds me actually of being sick, because when I feel like sickness comes when you're very stressed, take Sharon, for example. It's a great example. I'm sure she won't mind if I say this. All these things that have been happening to her in the past week have been super stressful. So when your body is stressed like that, maybe you're not getting the rest that you would normally get. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. She's being there for her family, so it's amazing. But you change up your schedules, maybe you're eating differently, all these things. So your body gets weak. And when the body's weak, I think that's when I like to leave the suspense. When your body's weak, that's when you detox. You have a detox event, and you feel sore and run down and tired and stuff, and you just get some rest and you're good to go. But I feel like that's what's going on with these sunspots. So maybe people that are stressed in certain situations, and I know I'm seeing it in my life with people that I know, online, and even in real life too, IRL, man. My IRL peeps. No, I mean, I have a lot of friends that are doing well too, but I see some things going on, and maybe it's not just a thing that works with sickness, like in your physical body, but maybe it's in your spiritual body. If you have an area where there's like some kind of weakness or whatever, maybe there's trauma, these sunspots, whatever the heck they are, could it be that they create things to go wonky in those areas, just like that transformer exploding, or people displaying erratic behavior, or things like that if they're stressed out. My prayers are with you, Sharon. Thank you, Chris. What's up, Quiet Sparky Bear? I'm sure she's really going to appreciate that. I got to clock in, listening in. Thanks, Austin. Oh, man. See, that's what I always say about the show, in the Over Sharon show as well. Like, we might have like 5 people in here, three, 4 people, whatever, but they're the best people. We had a chat one time recently. It was like 15, 20 people when we were doing Over Sharon. I think it was a Dow episode, and they were all the best, like, amazing people that were in there. So no trolls. It's great. So back to my point, I think that it could be that's what's causing this. So there's a few ways to look at it. You can look at it in a way of, oh man, this sucks, kind of like you're a victim. But in this channel, we don't like to do that. And if you're new, welcome. Welcome to my second breakfast break. Today we're going to look at buildings in Middle Earth. Were they built by the elves, or was there a race before the elves that we're not being told about? Anyway, so I think that's what's going on. Two ways to look at it, right? You could be a victim, or you could say, what can I learn? This is great that there's more energy. Now my triggers are being shown right to me. So now I could, if I choose and I want, I could do this work. I could sit in a quiet room, like I was saying earlier, and it's going to come up, or go for a walk in the woods, or whatever it is that you do, go for a swim, go for a hike, go for a motorcycle ride. Just be careful, because these people out here are freaking crazy, man. Everybody wanted to pull in front of me. It wasn't that bad, but there was definitely some people. But it's nice because my motorcycle is quite loud. I'm going to share a picture. Actually, I'll share a couple pictures. Because what happened was that's what I was going to say. So my motorcycle, my friend keeps it plugged into a battery tender and starts it every once in a while and stuff, but I haven't ridden it in a few years, so it's having an issue starting. We figured it out because my bike, when I start it, you can hear the fuel pump. It's so loud. It's always that way though. That's like normal. It's like ring. But now when it won't start, when we turn it on, we can't hear the fuel pump. So the fuel pump's not engaging. It's intermittent, and I think it's a wire harness thing or a fuse. So we were playing with it yesterday. But anywho, it's a lot of information for you guys. I'm going to share a couple pictures from yesterday. And the other good news is the wonderful 1992 Buick that I have that was referred to me by our friend Joe Giuseppe, who comes and hangs out, who I met through a Mark Passio event in Philadelphia in 2019. He lives in Connecticut. I got that through a friend of his mother's, the old lady who's the only one who ever drove this car. Even her husband didn't drive it. She told me this whole story, and I definitely believe her. She was no nonsense, this lady. And so I got it about a year and a half ago. It was like the end of 2022. And it didn't have air conditioning, and that was the thing. So yet last year I just kind of dealt with it, but yesterday we fixed it. We fixed it. Well, we recharged it and didn't seem to have any leaks, so it should at least last for this year. And then I was told I could just keep recharging it. I mean, I don't know if I could say that on YouTube because that's probably like terrible for the environment. But see, the thing is, my point of view is we're all energy anyway. So I just don't know. Does it even matter, right? All right. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I am sending these pics, motorcycle. So anyway, I was telling you that my bike was having those starting issues because I went for a ride around Milford, where I'm from, and I stopped for a second to check my phone and makes a call and all that stuff. And my motorcycle wouldn't start after that. So I kept trying to mess with it. And then I called my friend Dion, who luckily was right down the road. He's the one where I keep my bike at his house, but he was working at a boat down the road and just finished up. What a synchronicity. So he drove over, we got it started, and he followed me and he took a picture. So that's what I was explaining all of that just to get to how these pictures, because it's like just a picture, you'll see. You shall see. I'm just going to share my la 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 la. I'm just going to share my email. Don't steal my email, guys. Don't do it. Oh, I can hear a kitty. I think a kitty just got left. And there I am. Look at that lovely mane. I mean, guys, look at, like, if you saw that. And the funny thing is that motorcycle, it's not like a little scooter or so. It's a 1000 cc. It's a Honda. Look, that's it. Well, the seats are off because that's when we were kind of messing around with it. But it's a good sized bike. And I've had this bike since 2003. Boom. And there's us. Look at my two vehicles, and never mind the tobacco I was rolling over there. I cut my own and roll them, as you guys can see. So yeah, that's my motorcycle. You can see the seats kind of off, and I did all this stuff custom. These exhausts, that undertail, so where the plate is, that's not like that at all. It comes all black, and it's got this really ugly, huge like brake light and blinker, but we took all that out. And these taillights actually are the blinkers too. So did a bunch of fun custom stuff to it. Yeah. So, but there we are once again with my nice mane, just kind of hanging out, waiting for the light to turn green. Oh yeah, you can see my tail light here. So the right side, see how it's orange? That blinks. All custom, that stuff we did. It's so funny. All the stuff I did, I don't even remember if I know I could do it again. Like, we used to fix, and that's the funny thing really about skills if you don't keep up with them. But I mean, was able to put a new battery in and do some things really easily, which isn't that hard. But so I guess my skills haven't totally left me, which is great. No medical advice for cars. That's right. We don't give medical advice. Only motorcycle medical advice. If you have a motorcycle that's sick, call us at the Brandon Bonanza podcast. So anyway, I hope you guys like my personal sharing of my life. But to get back to what we're talking about, and then we'll get into the tarot. Look at that. I wasted like 22 minutes. Not wasted. I created 22 minutes of content for you people just off the top of my head without even just sharing my day. It's great. Come here, kitty. Come on. You want to come say hi to the good people? You want to show everybody your thumbs? I know you do. So, two ways. That's what I was saying, right? Two ways you can look at this stuff. And I really think it's a good chance. And I also, another thing that Archaic said that I really liked, he was like, all this stuff I'm saying, because he was talking about how to bring stuff to you or kind of how to manifest stuff. And he's like, you have to feel it and want to be in it kind of thing, feel like you already have it kind of thing, act like that. And he goes, but the doubts that you have about it, and he used the example of like going to get a car. He's like, just you want a car, go to the car dealership, talk to a salesman, just have that feeling. And somehow, the universe will reciprocate. And but he's talking about the doubts that you might have. So if you use that example of the car, say you did go and then you're like, oh, it's never going to happen. And another thing he said, which was really cool, is like if you're working on a skill, say it's stand-up comedy, and I was thinking about this, and say you want to make it your job, you want to be a stand-up comedian, you might think it takes time to do that. And I would say physically, in the physical world, if you asked physical Brandon, yeah, it's going to take a lot of time and hard work. But if you just go into it with a mindset of I'm just going to work at this as hard as I can. It's going to work out and I'm going to start paying my bills and make money. Then, and you don't have any doubts, who's to say? It could just happen. But what he was talking about were these lingering doubts that come in. Um, and he said that they'll negate that stuff. So that's that little voice that we always talk about. We've been talking about a lot lately, right? The little voice in the back of your head that's like, no, Sharon, you can't do this, or no, Austin, you gotta stay at your job and you can't try to support your family by starting a YouTube channel, or when are you gonna grow up and get a real job, right? This voice in the back of her head, or like Zindra, this voice is like, oh no, you don't want to go hang out with people, you just want to stay here, be alone. Oh, actually, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe there's a voice that's telling you, oh, everything's terrible, and you know it's all gonna be horrible and we're all going to die in a terrible way and people out there are getting killed and it's so terrible. But that's that little voice in your head. And remember, you're not that voice, you're just the observer. And you can actually change what that voice says. You could train yourself to say positive things in your head to yourself, to have positive self-talk and talk to about yourself. Something I heard recently in the third person. This is something I'm always doing anyway, so it works out. Like, Brandon is a great podcaster. Whenever Brandon goes live, all the important people in the realm are aware. And they know because Brandon is the best. And let me tell you, his podcast, both of them, him and Sharon, they're the most wonderful people. I know I got to drop the most wonderful people in the world, and they make amazing content. Brandon is so awesome. Anything he wants to do, if he puts his mind to it, he can make it possible. See, it's stuff like that. You just talk to yourself like that in your head. No, I didn't glitch out. I'm still here. If people are just listening, just want to make sure. I just thought a little silence would be good. Hear how amazing that is, that silence? I know we always get wrapped up in like, oh, I got to read this next book or this information's great. Or did you hear about the latest podcast? Did you guys hear about that podcast that just came out with those two people and they were talking about that thing? Did you hear about all that new info about that thing on that podcast? You got to read that book and listen to it. And then after that, you got to do this and that. But when's time for you? I think when's the time for you? Zindra says, I think it was the demons that won today, though. So that wasn't really good. I would need to stay inside. I would need to stay inside. I would have needed the socialization, but there will be more days. Damn those demons. Yes, you know what, though? It's okay that they won today, though. That's the thing. They were supposed to win today because guess what, Zindra? If you went to this party, there was a possibility, a percentage. So if you stayed home, there's a 0% of this happening. If you go out, there's a percentage. It could have been 1%. It could have been 80%. There's a percentage you could have got hit by a bus or something bad could have happened, or who knows. So maybe, I don't even think maybe. Could it be that you were meant to stay home today? What did Trish say that I missed? That's how I feel about recovering. I want the not doing approach. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know why I said, I thought, I can't read. I thought she said Trish. But yeah, I get it, but that's fine. Sometimes the demons win, sometimes the angels win. But to me, it's all about how you feel. You can be like, all right, demons, you won today. Good for you. But guess what? I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to keep coming back. So you better sharpen your swords, demons. I learned today, and that's what you could do. You could use today as a learning experience. And next time you want to go somewhere and you're having these doubts, you could be like, oh, remember when I didn't go out and I stayed home? And Brandon was like, oh man, that sucked. I shouldn't have done that. Well, I didn't say that, but you know what I mean. And Brandon was talking, and I was thinking that's what I meant to say. And so then you could say, well, last time I didn't go and I wish I did. So, you know what? This time I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And no matter what happens. So I say you just let them win until you could figure out a way to beat them and just keep moving strong. I mean, if you have strong demons in opposition to you, I think it's a good thing. It means that this universe, God, the creator is telling you that you're up to this challenge. You're like, listen, it's next level shit. We're playing Halo tonight on Legendary. We're going to play Halo on Legendary tonight. Come on over. We're going to kill aliens on the game Halo set to Legendary. You video game guys know what I'm talking about. That's like the hardest level to play Halo. I don't think maybe there's a harder one now, but when I used to play Halo back in my day, we didn't have Xbox Live. We had to have people come to our house and play with them. We had to hook up one Xbox and TV to the one upstairs and put a phone on speakers so we could talk shit to each other. That's how we had to do it. We didn't have the internet. Well, we did have the internet. Yeah, thinking of this detox as a level up. That's what I was thinking. I was talking to my friend Dion yesterday, and was telling him sometimes my knee gets sore when I keep it bent, but it's been getting better. And I was like, the same thing happened to my ankles. They were sore a couple of times. Like my ankle, each one separately got swollen last year for maybe like a few days or whatever, but now they're like stronger and back. So I was like, maybe it was an upgrade and that's what's going on. Maybe I'm going to be able to scale sides of the walls. I mean, if I think I believe I could do it, maybe I can. It's not advice, anybody. We're not recommending that you scale walls. All right. So, Zindra, I have my 10 angels with me at home at least. There you go. My 7 cats and my dog and my 2 rabbits. Yeah, I am on extra hard level in this game called Life for sure. LOL, LOL. It's 8:30 p.m. here. You asked the time. Oh, okay, 8:30. So you're 6. Okay, so yeah, you're in the Germany, Italio, that time zone. I've been there before. I was in Italy when I was in the Marine Corps. Got a good military discount yesterday. I was so excited. I constantly, everywhere I go, I'm like, you guys do military discounts? Show me the money. Um, so the upgrades. So I feel like that's what's going on. Zindra, you're definitely feeling it. I think we're all feeling it. We all have our own, but the thing is, right, do we let it bog us down? Do we go, oh, I'm a victim because of it, or do we choose to fight the battle tomorrow? And it's okay if you stay home and give up for that day. And as long as you know you're going to come back tomorrow, just keep coming back, because why would we be here if it wasn't for that? Like I'm not down with that whole like slave thing, because everything I see, it feels like is due to a choice, even if it's choices we don't realize we made subconsciously or whatever. So yeah, I have my one angel right now. There's 3 more. We have 4 cats. Elizabeth and I, when we met, we each had 2. So now we're like a cat Brady bunch. We have 4, but they're very amazing. And there's a neighbor cat that's an outside cat. It's a black cat next door, and I have two cats, and I've seen one more black cat run around this neighborhood. So, and it's pretty woodsy. It's pretty funny though. We have four black cats in the vicinity. What, buddy? He's talking to me. Actually, he knows I'm talking about him. Come here. Come on. He's getting into some trouble. He's like, I want attention. I don't care if you're a podcast, and screw that screen that you're talking to. All right, let's talk about the tarot, shall we? If anyone has any questions or whatever, come on in. I'm glad we can be here hanging out for you people. All right, I guess that was the more. In the title, I'm like talking tarot and more. So that was the more. And now we're going to go to the tarot. And if you noticed, I didn't pull a card at the beginning of the show. And I am going to pull one now. I have my trusty Thoth deck. Just get my chat box where I can see it. I always like to get my chat box where I can see it. You know, I hate when I can't see my box, my chat box. Gotta check my chat and check my chat box, get it where I can see it. These cards are amazing. Look at the backs of them. I mean, aren't they just. Let's just look at this cross first, right? What is a cross? It's two lines intersecting. Is it? Or is it an unfolded cube? An unfolded cube. I'll repeat that. So, are we in a cube? Is the cube the quote unquote prison that people think we're in, but it's just a Rubik's cube? It's something we got to figure out how to transcend, right? So, if we're in that cube, how do you transcend it? You open it up and fold it out, and it becomes a cross. You have the top, the side, side, and bottom. You fold it all together, and it makes a nice little box. What card did we pull, by the way? Oh, this might have just been on top. The King of Cups, Knight of Cups. Look at that crab. Oh man, see, I'm a Cancer, so got my Cancer claws. I wasn't gonna get seven. This is Indra talking about her cats. I was becoming a pedigree breeder of holy Berman cats, but I couldn't find any buyers that don't want to vaccinate. So I kept them all. LOL. Yeah, if you're on, let's say, a two-path road, how do you do a laying out two choices? I mean, two-path road. So if you're talking about tarot or you're just talking about life, but I feel like there really aren't decisions to make. Like we are on our path. Like everything since we've been born is our dharma, is our path. Now, we might be creating karma and not specifically be following our dharma, but all that does is push us back to our path. And that pushing back is suffering. It's shit happening in your life, stuff going wrong. It's crazy synchronicities. It's like running into people you don't want to see. That's all these things. And oh, tarot. Yeah, okay, I could show you that. That's so but I'll just finish this point because I don't want to get lost. Think Bashar, pick the one that gives you more joy. Yeah, follow your excitement. But so my concept is, I mean, yes, of course, I think we have free will and you can actually make a decision to do something else instead of one thing. I could say, I'm going to close one eye. I'm going to close the other one. I'm going to do it. Now I'm not. But what I mean is, I feel like in a way, because of all the karma and everything that's happening and happened before we were even here or whatever, maybe we were just different bodies, but all the things that happened are causing what's going on now to happen to you, right? You're floating along. Now, the way to stop that is to change your frequency, just like iron filings in a magnetic field will react one way, and you change it up and then they'll move. You can rise above that frequency. I feel like the frequency that people are in, that we all get in from time to time. I'm not going to make any claims, but I get in it less every day, and I'm going to stop getting in it. Brandon is not going to be in that frequency as much as he was yesterday, and tomorrow it's going to be even less. It's going to keep exponentially growing until the frequency disappears. Isn't that amazing? And you can do that for yourself. Just say it in the mirror. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm looking at myself talking. But anyway, so you get in the feeling, oh, the one path. Okay, so one path, it's kind of an illusion. And I feel like that's the physical. You're running along, but in the spiritual, the inside, the unseen, inner, when you close your eyes, in that little voice in your head, you could change that. That's what you have the choice to do. And I feel like once that changes, then the physical, it starts to line up. Like I've been having crazy synchronicities. I told you about the transformer that exploded. Yesterday, I was cooking a grilled cheese for my lovely fiance Elizabeth. We get some good raw cheese, and she loves this like Ezekiel bread. I don't the sesame seed one. She really likes it, but I think it's all right. I mean, anyway, so I was making that, and I was listening to Ram Dass as I was doing it, and he was talking about something and getting burned, and he's like, and I get burnt out or burnt, and as he said that, I was like, I had the slices of cheese, and I was laying it on the bread, and I touched the side of the pan, like, I was like, and as he said burned, I felt it. I didn't really burn myself or anything. I mean, I'm used to it. I cook all the time. I have like iron hands. I go to a restaurant. They're like, this plate's hot. And I'm just like, I'll take it. Don't worry. I always have to touch it. Even I'll let him put it down, but I'm like, okay. But anyway, so it was a crazy synchronicity. He said burn right as I felt the burn. It was nuts. But other things too, I'm sure they'll come up. Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to hear another really crazy synchronicity? Yesterday, as so I got down to Milford, and the plan was to ride the motorcycle around, then change the oil and charge my AC. And Dion had gotten a call while I was on my way down because a boat that he had fixed the day before was acting up again. Something, I mean, it's like this $1 million boat. It's crazy. We know a lot of people. It's nuts. But anyway, so he went down there. He's only going to take an hour. So he went there, and I got my bike, went for a ride, and then that's when it stopped working. So we went back to his house, and we went to charge the AC. And I totally forgot because my car is a 1992. Uh, it needs an adapter kit. So we went to Walmart. They didn't have one. We went to Advanced Auto, and they didn't have one. So we had to go in Advanced Auto, the other town over autos. I don't know. Anyway, they had it was crazy. Then we got back and realized we needed more refrigerant because one big can wasn't enough. So we had to go back out. So it was just an adventure, you know what I mean? But I got all that done. And why was I talking about that? Now I forget. All right, well, we'll just get back to the tarot. Oh, the synchronicities. Yeah, that's what it was. So we went to Walmart for the last time. I totally spaced out there. Sorry, guys. Went to the Walmart for the last time, and we went to a different Walmart because there's like 3 Walmarts within the same driving distance of my friend's house. It's crazy. So we just went to another one to get that last couple of cans of refrigerant. We just got a few just in case, and or whatever they call that stuff, R134A or whatever. And as we were leaving the store, we ran into one of Elizabeth's friends, her really good friend. And like, Canton is about an hour from here. So I live her from Milford. And her friend, though, lives more near Milford and just happened to go to Walmart. She's going camping. I just hear Brandon. And since we were in Milford, I'm from there. I had no idea who it could be. And I was like, oh my God. So we took a picture and sent it to Elizabeth. It was so funny. And Elizabeth's like, oh my God, I wish I was there. What's up, Io? Oi, how you been, bro? I haven't seen you in a while. I catch your streams once in a while. I'm always in there lurking sometimes when I'm driving. Um yeah, so just synchronicities everywhere. And so I feel like that's what's happening because I'm making this transition into, when things go wrong, I try to figure it out. Like my bike wouldn't start, and I'm sitting down there in the road, people are walking by just looking at me and I'm like pop, 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 trying to start it. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, it's fine. I'm just sitting there smiling, smoking a little tobacco, hanging out. Tobacco is what they call tobacco. They call it tobacco in Wheel of Time. It's great. I didn't realize what they were talking about at first until I heard it a few times. Like tobacco. We had a pipe of tobacco. I think I've said that before in here. Anyway, so that's what the true two paths are. Could it be that, when you're vibrating on that level, that's where you're going to be led to? Now, the whole two paths thing. Thanks, Sindra, for that question. That's a great one. When it comes to tarot, if you're really, the best way to do it is to, it could be as simple as just pulling two different cards and laying out the two cards. But you can also pull two cards and then you could lay out one for each. Like if you don't get enough clarity, pull another card. So we'll do one really quick as an example. If you have a choice A or B. Oh, I got to put this one back in. I had the prints out. Get back in there, sir. All right, you guys all saw me put it in the middle of the deck. Just in case. I was thinking it'd be crazy because some people can shuffle really good and they can pick out cards and stuff. What if subconsciously somebody gained that skill, but they just didn't know, like their subconscious, and it would pick cards for them that they needed to see? Wouldn't that be crazy? Ooh, Ace of Discs. So this is for one, and I'll just pull. Oh, this nine of discs. All right, so here, talk about polarizing, right? The one and the nine, the ace and the nine. I mean, you can't get any further away from each other, I guess, unless you include court cards. But since the ace is considered the one and the nine is the nine, I hit a stud and blame communism. Nice. Yeah, you need a stud finder anytime you need whoa. You need a stud finder, sir. Just go to Home Depot and all right. No, go to your local hardware store. Anyway. So this way would be, if you had two choices to make, you could look at it this way, because it's not always like you're just going to pick one card and it's going to look happy or whatever. What you can actually do is break it down and look at the different kind of consequences or the negative and positive aspects of each one. And since this one came up so polarized, I would say that your two choices are very polarizing. You have one on one side, you have something brand new that you could start. You could start something new, maybe a new career because it's discs, or maybe just something in the new earthly realm, a new relationship, even though it's not water. Discs do have to do with family, so maybe it has to do a new member of the family or anything really in the world in the physical, but kind of new. And then this nine over here, this really would say kind of stick to what you're doing, right? Nine means that you already made some of these gains. Now, if it was a 10, I guess it could have been a 10. That was like the polar opposites. See, I can laugh at myself, everybody. There's a 10 also, everybody. But we'll just say because they're so far apart, I'll keep going. And if you think about it, the 10 is really nothing more than the one with just a zero. And I think if the 10 came, it'd be a lot different because it would be an ending. The nine, though, is more about mastery, right? The nine, though, is more about mastery, right? You reach the master. So do you want to stay here and keep doing what you're doing, or do you want to take that mastery and pull off one of these coins and start a whole new section? And then you could get nine more. You could get another mastery and another mastery and a mastery. And then you're master of all these different skills or whatever you want, maybe different ways to make money or different ways to spend time with your family or physical activities, different ways to work out, working on the body, right? So that's one simple way you can do. And I think because I have this book here, we read from this before. It's Mirror of the Soul by Gerd Ziegler. I'm good. Read my book. I'm good. Why don't you read my book? My name is good. All right. This is what it's like inside my head, everybody. And you're welcome for the preview. Good. The Ace of Discs. Should I read it as good? Keywords: inner and outer richness, great success, unification of the body and soul, material and spirit, heaven and earth, wholeness. The symbols of the card are arranged in the form of a cross, representing the integration of the vertical and horizontal in the inner and the outer. Body and soul, too long set at odds, meet now in harmonic union. Now the body can be treated as the living temple of the soul. The more deeply we are grounded in our bodies, the fewer difficulties will arise during this integration process. The deeper our roots reach into the earth, the higher the soul will be able to soar. That's huge, right? The deeper the roots, the higher. It's as above, so below. A seven-pointed star and two pentacles surround the esoteric symbol 1/666, which represents completion. To Meta Ophion means initiation or entrance. Intended here is the possibility of our entrance into new consciousness and readiness for a life which is externally and internally rich. The new consciousness brings with it an attitude of continual development symbolized by the age rings on the wood. New levels of being are continually being reached like concentric arches. Each in its turn is discovered, accepted, integrated, and brought toward external expression, like the rings of a tree. This process to a real consciousness of the self, a basis for real success. This process leads to a real consciousness of the self, a basis for real success. This is basically what I'm talking about and what I have been talking about. And this is crazy. It's like blowing my mind. We can be both inwardly and outwardly rich. It is not necessary to choose between the two. I mean, are we talking about synchronicities? Zindra asked me about choosing between two paths and two choices and stuff like that, or whatever it was. And it's saying right here, you don't have to choose. You don't, that's what I'm saying. There is no choice to make in the physical. The only choice to make is that it's cool, man. It's fine. Because literally, when you're being a victim, you're fucking doubting God, dude. You're saying, you know what? I think I could fucking do this better. It's nothing more, not you, Zindra, or not anyone specifically. I'm not like ranting, but it really is nothing more than you saying, just like Ram Dass said last night. He's like, it's nothing. I was listening to it when I was cooking. It's nothing more than your own ego, your inflated ego, like to think that you know better than God and to say, no, no, this is how it should be. No, my motorcycle should start right now when I want it to start. And I should be able to ride around and do what I want. I should have to sit here on the side of the road. What the fuck? Right. But no, I don't know better than God. For some reason, I had to stop there. The day before I went down there, actually went down. I had to go to my office and do some things. So I stopped by and I put a new battery in my motorcycle, even though the battery worked is on the tender. It's just like 10 years old. So you can get, anyway, better batteries now. So, and I couldn't get it started, and Dion was off working on that boat. And this was Tuesday, and then Wednesday, yesterday, I went, and then he had to go back. So it was like a crazy cycle. And I could have said, oh, I'm a victim here. This sucks. I want to ride more. I want to do this. But if I rode more, who knows what could have happened? So when you're in despair and feeling like a victim or all that stuff, it's nothing more than you thinking you know better and you know the way it should be, not the way it is now. It shouldn't be this way. It's the way I say it is because that's the way I want it because I know me. Now, self-love comes in, right? Because you do want to take care of yourself and you do want to treat yourself with love and compassion. But really, that self-love is just conquering that little voice in your head that's giving you the doubts, giving you the fear, because that fear and those doubts are literally manifesting what's coming to you in your life. And I haven't mastered this. It's not like I'm a master of all this and I just sit around all day and levitate and I'm like, with my beautiful hair, Brandon's hair. I maybe a few hours a day. But no, I go and live my life and just like anyone else, and things happen and I have doubts and fears and worries that come up. But I've been whittling at them and working at them, and I'm telling you, it just gets, I don't want to say better, but it's less suffering. That's all. How about that? It's less suffering. But sometimes you need suffering. All right. Rant over. I know. I just heard him say that last night, and I've listened to this book. Sharon was like, "Oh, she was listening to it too." She's like, "I listened to it twice," which is a pretty amazing feat because it's long. It's like hours long. But I probably listened to it like I've been listening to it on and off in the rotation since like 2014. So I probably listened to it like hundreds of times. But this one time it just stuck out to me, and he was like, "It's nothing more than our own ego and our own audacity to think that we know better than God." And it doesn't mean you have to just sit there and accept everything that happens to you. If something happens, you can be like, what, God, you're being a real biatch today. What the fuck, man? All right, let's do it. I guess this is what I got to do today. And then you kind of, you could talk yourself up, and it doesn't have to all be like, ha ha, this is great. Oh, my pet just died. My bird just died. This is great. That's, you could still have this touch with reality, with the physical, with what's really going on. You don't have to be all new agey, uh, you know, accepting everything. You could still, well, I mean, the acceptance is the key. So I guess you accept it, but you accept it in your own way, in your own time. So, can you give me a mini summary of the tarot? I heard 70 cards and five houses. Oh, yeah, sure. So there are 78 cards. I had to think about that. I was going to say 72. I just like 72. There should have been 72. No, 78 cards. There are the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana, there are 22 cards. You have 0 through 21, which starts with the Fool, ends with the Woiled. And then you have the minor arcana, which is further split up into the court cards and the number cards. So, in those cards, you have 4 different suits. There's aces. There's cups, swords, wands, and discs or pentacles. People would call them disc or pentacles. That's one suit. Swords, cups, wands, or also referred to as rods. And you have ace through 10, and then you have 4 court cards. So you have a knight, a queen, a king, and a page. So that's the tarot. Basically, the different suits, it's really easy to get meanings out of cards. You don't really have to memorize every single card in the deck. I mean, I would say just work with it. It's fun to work with because it's like a temperature gauge. It really is. Like if you want to know what the temperature is outside, you pull out a thermometer, right? Well, maybe not now. You just Google it. Back in my day, we used to have to pull out a thermometer if we wanted to know how hot it was. We were sweating, but we didn't know. We put out a thermometer, it was hot. So that's not a black guy, by the way. Those people were like, oh no, listen, I know, I told you, I'm white trash adjacent. WTA. So you pull out a deck of cards and you pull one. Here, you know what? Because I'm saying it, we have those 2 cards, talked about them. Let's just randomly, here we go. The 2 of Cups. Love. You pull it. Now, you think to yourself, what do cups represent? Self cups represent emotion. It's something that holds water. So it doesn't exactly represent water, but it's a vessel for water. What does water represent esoterically? Feelings, emotions. Sometimes you'll boil over with anger. You cry and it rains, stuff like that. It's ice cold. This guy's ice cold. He's so cold, right? Flowing like water. Like it was like we were in a flow state today. So you think about that, and then 2, you just think a little bit about what 2s represent, and then you could get a basic understanding of numerology and look up some things. What's up, Joe? Welcome. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love this episode, Joe. I just did an awesome rant about Ram Dass. Wasn't really about Ram Dass. Anyway, so what do twos represent? The one. One is infinite potential. It's the beginning. It's the phallus, male energy, masculine, not just men. Two, feminine. It's the split, the feminine energy. So you have the two of the cups. So what is that? What can that lead you to? So say you're having a day and you just want to sit down and see where you're at in life. So you pull that card. And it's like a thermometer. It tells you where everything, what's going on in your life. So you pull that one. You can pull another one. So the two of cups. Maybe it's a new relationship that's coming up. Maybe it's an inner thing with inner work, and you're starting to go beyond boundaries that you've had before, and your consciousness is starting to rise a little bit, and you're having different synchronicities, and you're feeling great about it. And there it is. You can even get a book. We can look it up. The Two of Cups, right? So since you asked me, Tony, this will be your reading. Your reading is the Two of Cups. Guys, this is crazy. I opened right to the Two of Cups. Look, no bookmarks. Well, there's a hair hanging out of here. There we go. Maybe I should see where the hair is. I'll read that card too. I open up right to the Two of Cups. Crazy. Keywords: Venus in Cancer, receptive love, happy relationships, emotional exchange. If you love yourself, yeah, that's what it says. If you love yourself, you are attractive to others. Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to somebody else, Tony. This is your reading. Tony, a deep emotional exchange will be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union occurs in complete harmony as symbolized by the entwined fishes. Two lotus blossoms rise out of the mud and bloom. The cups are filled and overflow, symbolizing the overflowing emotional riches present. This is an image of complete joy and silent ecstasy. Mm. The water is still in the sky, clear and blue. Deep joy, yellow, flows into the emotions, water, and the energy of renewal, green, permeates them. Compare the two. Compare the Two of Swords. Thoughts are free and clear, the blue sky, seen through the eyes of love. The world appears transformed. That's what I mean. The world appears transformed, seen through the eyes of love. But the love of who? I mean, do you ever, when you were younger or whatever, you meet somebody and you have like a crush on them, right? It's like, oh, I love this person. And no matter what they do, it's like, oh, it's so cute. They crashed their car in yours and you're like, oh, it's so cute the way you just totaled my car, right? It's like nothing can bother you. I mean, I have a friend that got into a car accident with this lady and then ended up marrying her and having kids with her. I think they're divorced now, but it was like a car accident relationship. But stuff like that happens. But that's what I'm talking about, right? So the world appears transformed. Was that a complete thought? Did I skip something there? Oh yeah, through love. So anyway, that's what I was saying. when you when you're in love with somebody, now imagine if you were in love with yourself. And then anytime you made a mistake, you were like, oh, it's all right. I love this guy. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Because what happens now when you make a mistake? Think about it. Just take a second. Say, do a mental experiment with me. You're making coffee and you spill it all over the floor. Fuck, that sucks, right? And you're like, oh, I'm such an idiot. Why the fuck did I do this? I should have slowed down. I can't fucking believe this, man. I'm in a rush. I got to clean this up. It's going to stain. It's going to stink. Now I'm going to have to wash this all up. Or Oh, I got more to. If this is relevant to you, Tony, I got more. Stick around. Stay tuned after this commercial break. Or you spill this coffee and you're in love with yourself. And you're like, I'm so silly. Look at Brandon spilling coffee because his reflexes are so insanely fast, and he just the physical isn't real to him as much as it is to a lot of people. So he just knocks things over. Isn't he silly? Oh, I guess we get to clean the floor now. Well, maybe if I'm going to be a few minutes late to where I was headed, maybe it's good. Maybe the person that I didn't want to see is going to leave, or, maybe on the way there, I'm going to get to help somebody. Maybe that's a better thing that we could say instead of saying when I say to people, like I said to Zindra earlier, maybe it's a good thing you didn't go to the social function because you could have got hit by a bus. But instead of saying that, maybe I could say, it's a good thing that I'm a few minutes late because now I'm going to be slowed down and maybe I'll pass somebody that needs help in the road and I'll be able to provide a service for them. So now take those two different mindsets, right? What's going to happen when you spiral? It's just going to affect your whole day. You're going to keep spiraling downward. Or you just say, you know what? Is that all you got for me today, Satan? Or however you want to frame it, or my demons, or Kali, the destroyer. Is that what you got for me today? Just some spilled coffee? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you don't want to dare it, right? But it's all about the mindset. All right, let me go back to Tony. Back to you, Tony. Indications your readiness to receive love makes you attractive. Surrender to yourself, to others, to life. Surrender to yourself, to others, to life. It's about the surrender. Question: with which persons, in which surroundings, can you now share your love? Well, you're doing a really good job of sharing your love here, and we appreciate it here on the Brandon Bonanza YouTube channel. Sharon appreciates it. I appreciate it. All of our guests appreciate it. We appreciate you, Tony. You're an amazing person. I see you calling into everyone's show, making it better. The world is a better place with you, Tony. I love it. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing because you put smiles on people's faces. And I mean, what more can you ask for if that was just your purpose here to put smile? That's what I feel like. I've always wanted to just make people laugh. That's my thing. Whenever I saw somebody sad, I'm like, I'm going to make this person laugh. And most times I do because I'm silly. You guys want to see something cool? Watch this. Let me see if I can still do it. All right. Am I moving one eye and one eye staying still? Did it work? All right, it was worth it. See, I just transported myself like Jason Statham to a new realm. There's more. Oh, look, but wait, Tony. On the other page, there's more words. You're welcome, Tony. You don't have to thank me, but I appreciate it. I'm just telling you facts. I'm just stating the truth. You're an amazing person. And Zindra, you're an amazing person too. And you're making the world a better place. Those 7 cats, there's a reason. That's 7. You set out to do something because you were like, I'm going to breed these amazing cats. But you're like, I don't want to give them. You guys know, I don't want to. I'm not even going to say it. There's a certain thing I don't want to do to these cats that the vet does. And I don't want to give them to people that are going to do that. And so you kept them. And now you have 7, which is such a magical number. It could lead you so many places. I mean, if I were you, here's an idea. Now, listen, maybe you start an Instagram with these amazing, beautiful cats. I don't know if you've been on Instagram lately or any of these social media things, but people, I don't know if you've, Zindra, I don't know if you've been on the internet lately, but people fucking love cats for some reason. They fucking love them. Like it's their therapy. They just share cat videos all day. I know because I'm fucking one of them. Yeah, Life Path 7. You got 7 cats. What's the fucking problem, Zindra? I don't see. You see what I mean? You got it all right in front of you. It's so amazing. It really is. And you have 10 total, which is another, it's a 1, it's a 10, it's a 1 and a 0. So you start an Instagram, right? Or a TikTok or whatever the kids are into these days. You start a MySpace page, all right? You just put your pictures of your cats all over your MySpace page. It's great. You go on AOL, you get in the chat rooms. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make it. If this was 1999, no wait, there wasn't MySpace. If this was 2006, 5, you'd be rich. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do cute things, right? Your 7 cats, are they the cutest? Are they the? I mean, come on, they got to be the cutest, and there's 7 of them. You can even start like an esoteric cat page. I mean, and you know what? Even if it doesn't work out, that whole time you'll be focusing on you and your cats and how you can make things better and make people's lives, because your whole reason for doing it would be to make people smile and to make people have a better day. So even if it doesn't work out, you spent all the time doing that instead of, you know, uh, being not and like suffering or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to Tony. They're so cute. Too bad I can't post pics here. Yeah, no, I hear you. If you're on Telegram or Instagram, Brandon Bonanza, Brandon underscore Bonanza, find us. And Sharon is Belizima. I think it's just I Belizima. Sharon will tell you. Yeah. All right, back to Tony and back to the Two of Cups. Suggestion: pay attention to the love coming to you now. Remain open and let it enter you and go deep inside. Now that, I mean, guys, we're talking about physical, spiritual love here. Get your minds out of the gutters. Yeah, that's hilarious. But seriously, it's cool though. Pay attention to love coming to you now. Remain open. Let it enter you and go deep inside. There is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. And this is the thing. Life isn't going to always give you things to enjoy, but you enjoy it, or you focus on the things you can enjoy. Silver linings. I have thought of starting a YouTube channel for 10 years now. I even got a degree in video editing and I still haven't started it. Was thinking of making the animals part of it. Yeah. And this is my advice to you, Zindra. Just start small and just do it and just put it out there. It'll get better as you do it. Go back and watch the first Over Sharon shows. They're amazing, but they're not what we're doing now. We got even more amazing. And that's what happens. And my advice, that's why I would tell you to do it, because you can linger. Trust me, I know I've lingered. And you could hesitate and doubt and procrastinate. That's the word I was looking for. Or you just do it and start putting it up. That the reason I say Instagram is because it's so easy and people love cats. You just use the hashtags and look up what hashtags are good and just use a few, and and you could do both. We can link them together. Go deep inside. I know Tony's like, all right, Brandon, what's going on here? All right, listen, Tony. For just $19.99 a month, we could get deep inside. But yeah, there's nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. This is the affirmation. I'm sorry. Okay, so affirmation: there's nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which will fulfill me. Now I'm going to read the 9 of Pentacles because that's something we pulled earlier, and maybe we'll pull another card too. And if you guys have any other tarot questions, Tony, if you have any more, please let me know. Would you like to go deeper? I didn't even mean that one. That's a freebie for you guys. You're welcome. Actually, I just flipped to the Hermit card. I think I'll read it because of the quote in the beginning. And while I read it, I will put a picture of it up for you. Hermit from the Thoth deck. Thank you. Google Images. Boom. There's a lot of Google Images on here. Let's see. That looks like a good one. Let's. Aha, yeah, I could just. Can I make this bigger? Can I do it? All right, Pinterest. You know what? I'll just do this. Everyone's so afraid they're going to steal your image. All right. So this is the hermit. Very interesting. You see the dog Cerberus at the bottom, 3 heads. You see the egg right over here. Click to make the most. I don't want to. So I'll read. I'm signed out. Yeah, I get it. The hermit has set out in search of internal fulfillment. I'm just going to pull the chat up too so I could see that. And Tony says, I could talk out how I imagine it relating to current things going on, but I'll just remain open to it all. I think that's the moral of the read. Yeah. Yeah, just remain open. You can always share it with us whenever you want, but you don't have to. And especially typing it out on here, I get it. The hermit has set out in search of internal fulfillment and has found the light within. He is so fulfilled by the wealth of the inner realm that the external world appears colorless and unimportant. Sharon says, absolutely, remaining open is the best, because then God, the universe, will bring you exactly what you need. 100% Sharon, says Joe. All right, I'm going to bring it back to me, because it's fun to watch me read. When you repose in yourself, you have come home. There is no reason to chase after the deceptive light of that which is external and transitory. However, the journey inward also has its difficult and troublesome aspects. You need courage and trust in yourself in order to embark on this journey. For before you reach the sought-for light, you are led through the apparently danger-filled realms of your own shadow. Apparently danger-filled realms of your own shadow. Realms of your own shadow. Woo. All right. Freaking out, man. The mushrooms are kicking in. Just kidding. I wish. However, the journey inward also has its difficult and troublesome aspects. You need courage and trust in yourself in order to embark on this journey. Oh, wait, I just did read that. That's right. Apparently, danger-filled realms of your own shadow. That's right. You are led through. So you have to go through the darkness before you get to the light, is basically what they're saying. And I like how he says apparently, because it doesn't mean it is dangerous. Just might seem that way. There are represented on the card by the poisonous snake and the 3-headed hellhound, Cerberus. 2 of Cerberus's heads look forward. 1 looks back. His attention is directed partly toward the past in order to make sure all important details have been brought to completion. All unfinished business must be attended to before the available energies can be applied to the new. The integration of the animal in us is also a prerequisite to the emergence of a whole total being. So I feel like this is really what I was talking about. This fits in perfect with the quote, because this is the kind of work that you do, and then you start to experience what I'm talking about. The transforming light of inner clarity fills bit by bit all levels of his being. The sheaves ripen, the fruits of his surrender to internal self become the visible. The grain can be harvested and shared with others. Whoever has found the inner reality can share the experience of transformation with other seekers, and that's what I'm doing. My fellow seekers, welcome. The hermit is not revered by others and is rarely understood. He is an individual who hears a different drummer. Not satisfied with the superficialities of the masses, the hermit enters only into those relationships which offer union of deeper levels. If this is not possible, the hermit prefers to remain alone. This card admonishes you to heed your inner wisdom and gather together with other people who will be supportive on the shared path. That's something that's really important as you go through these stages. Sometimes you really need to kind of either stay away from others or be a hermit or be with people who are also on the path in person if you can, on the internet or whatever you can do. Because in the beginning, a lot of these ideas sound kooky and crazy. And when you talk about them with other people, they might think you're kooky or crazy. And the thing about it is it might lead you to thinking that it's kooky and crazy as well, or feeling weird about it, or leads you away from the path or whatever, or leads you to more suffering. So I'm not saying to cut people out of your life 100%, just saying in the beginning, because I've come to the stage in my life where I'll just be around whoever, you know, we're just going to hang out. It's fine. But what I mean is, in any situation I find myself in, or whoever I'm with, I just try to make the best of the situation. I mean, I am a capybaro. Capybaro. Soy capybaro. I know it's a capybara, but I'm a gringo, so I say capybaro. Me a gringo, so I say capybaro. But yeah, that's really what I'm talking about. What do you guys think? You could just be anywhere and you're okay because inside, internally, you realize that the ocean is deep. And although there might be turbulent waves on the top, it's wavy, man. It's wavy up here. It's crazy. You could sink down below, keep sinking. Come with me. We're going down to the calm waters underneath. All right. I think you guys get it. All right. So the goal of this path is to find the inner voice and learn to listen to it. Discover your inner guide and become well acquainted with your inner healer. Your inner healer. You're healing yourself. Or you're just letting go of the idea that you were broken in the beginning in the first place. Are you really broken? Or are you perfect? I think you're perfect. I think you're just exactly how God made you. You're perfect. I think the only thing that maybe I could say, make some kind of claim or ask a question is, could it be that it's your own perception of yourself that thinks you're not perfect? Because I think you're perfect. And God told me last night, God came to me last night and he told me, he said, Brandon, the person you're going to talk to tomorrow is going to listen to your voice on that YouTube live stream. They're going to be perfect. And you got to tell them they're the most perfect soul I ever created. Every person who listens to you and can hear the sound of your voice is the most perfect person ever created. Because I feel I'm God and everybody's perfect. If you walk through a forest, you wouldn't pick out trees that were bent one way or gnarled another. And you wouldn't say, look at those trees, they're ugly. Would you? No, they're all beautiful in God's eyes, just like you. You're beautiful in God's eyes. You are so beautiful, my listener. That's who I'm talking about. You know what? I'm having fun. This is great. I am going to have some more tobacco as I chat with you wonderful people. What's going on anyway? Is there anyone still here? Am I talking to myself? No, we still got some people, some peeps having a good time. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Actually, you know what? There's probably more to read here. Let me. Maybe that's what I wanted to say. You know, the inner voice, the difference between the voice I was talking about earlier, that nagging negative voice in your head that tells you all these bad things. That's not the voice they're talking about. They're talking about the intuition, which isn't really to me like a voice. It feels more like a feeling. You know that song? It's like, I got a feeling. It's like that. I have a feeling and I get this feeling, and it even manifests in ways like when I'm driving. Sometimes I get a feeling not to go a certain way or to go another way. And I remember when I was in fourth or fifth grade, we got into a car accident. I was driving down the street. No, I was driving when I was in fourth grade, allegedly. My mom was driving, and this car, we were going through, there's like a Y. It's like a fork in the road. And we were coming the other way. We were coming from one of the forks. And a guy coming this way crossed, just head on collision. We weren't going really, really fast. We were just, but it was still pretty bad. And we had our seatbelts on, so we were okay. But the car was totaled, total loss. We regret to inform you that your 1984 Chevy Chevette is the total loss. It was a silver Chevy Chevette. That car, let me tell you, styling. So anyway, my talk's down here. After the accident, now we were coming home from Bible study because we were going to this Christian church. It was an Assemblies of God. We'll say church. We'll be nice. And, actually really nice people. I'm not even going to talk shit. And my mom said that she had a feeling to go a different way. In her way to explain it was, she's like, the Holy Spirit speaking to me. It was a feeling to go the other way. And now I've always remembered that because I was like, I get feelings to do things too. And I used to think it was the Holy Spirit. And hey, maybe it is the Holy Spirit. I don't know. I got a hotline to the Holy Spirit. But I'll tell you this, I'm going to listen to it. Oh, yeah. See you later, Joe. If I don't see you, tell Sandra we said hi. I mean, what better people than Joe and Sandra, right? I mean, I was just talking about how amazing they were last night with Elizabeth. I can't remember what we were saying. I mean, I have the coolest internet friends, I'm telling you. We always meet the coolest people. So, car accident, my mom said that about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is, I'm just catching up to where I was. The Holy Spirit is the connection, right? It's speaking to us. We have that connection to our intuition or the Holy Spirit, call it what you will, but it comes through like a feeling. So I say, trust your gut. And that's why a lot of people will say, oh, if you're going to take a test, it's go with your first answer. Or so you always, you're playing trivia. You want to go with your first one. I feel like because that's sometimes it's more of an instinctual thing. It's just sometimes it's faster than the thinking mind. It's just already there. It's spirit. It already knows, right? So in that vein, now if you make the wrong choice, it's not about getting freaked out about making the right choice. Now it's like, oh, is this a feeling? Should I do this? Should I do that? I feel like that is more spiraling, right? What's Sharon saying? I'm here. Every worldview calls it different things. Holy Spirit, the Brahman, maybe. I don't know enough about Eastern stuff yet. Yeah, put an A in front of Brahman. You know about this, right, Sharon? Put an A in front of Brahman. And what's it say? Abraham. Huh. Huh. Wait, what? And Abraham was with Sarah and Brahman and Saraswati? This is what RKX was talking about the other day. Guys, I'm not a fanboy or with anybody. I'm a capybara. Remember, everybody to me. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It blew my mind. Abraham, I mean, Brahman. How was it always right there? We just didn't see it, right? All those things. It's great. What an amazing magical universe realm we exist in. Things like that could just be right in front of us and blow our minds, especially somebody who's read the Bible as much as Sharon and I have read the Bible. I mean, I know Sharon talks about a lot about reading the Bible and stuff, but when I was in boot camp, you can get these mini Bibles. You know what, Sharon, write this down. Or Joe, when you watch this later, Joe, maybe this is something we talk about in the propaganda, or maybe we could talk about Joe's on or whatever. But one thing we didn't talk about in the Full Metal Jacket episode 2 about boot camp, and this is something they didn't show. No, they didn't show it. They just showed them celebrating Christmas, and they were singing to Jesus, which was funny. They were singing Happy Birthday, Jesus. But one major part of boot camp was church. On Sundays, you could freaking go to church. And I went to the church that was like the born again one, and they were singing all the songs soon and very soon. We are going to see the king. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the king. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm going to be smoking. Soon and very soon, I'm going to be smoking. Anyway, we would sing that song and we sat the way we so the way church worked is obviously you don't have to go if you don't want to. There was different denominations you could pick. And then whatever group wanted to go to the church you were going to, you'd like march over there and you'd have to sit with each other. So each group was with each other. And then when we would sing that song, soon and very soon, I'm going to see the king. After that, however much time you had left in boot camp, you would like yell it out. You're like, 1 month, soon and very soon, I'm going to see the king. 1 month. So everybody would sing it. I mean, yeah, I can't get into that right now in the show. Where I would divert the whole thing. But the one thing I will say is think about what we talk about with spirituality and this inner feeling that everybody has for some kind of spirituality. And a lot of people get that itch scratched through going to church. And now you just take that with people who are going to, they're training to be killers, right? I have some kind of joke I want to do about it one day. Now that I know, maybe I'll even scream it or whatever. But it's like they taught us this one word all the time: kill, kill. Every time we had it. So you have that, but then you have these people going to church. So it's like the brainwashing is complete, right? Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Future episode topic, maybe to talk about. I saw an Instagram. Oh yeah, Instagram post about the three kings. That's where I got that from. Smoking, drinking, and F king. F king. You ever do it all at once? Let me tell you. I feel like I just sidetracked my whole conversation. I think I was going to read the Nine of Pentacles. What was I talking about before the boot camp thing, though? We'll see if we can get back there. We'll get back there. So, hope you guys are having a good time hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun. Probably going to get out of here shortly. I should just do a show where I play with my hair the whole time and not talk. I've done that before on stage. So, I hope you guys like that moment of silence. Just trying to reset here. Well, let me go back to reading. I'll read the Nine of Discs and then maybe we can get out of here. Oh, listening while making dinner. Lovely. But I highly recommend this book if you're Tony, if you're listening, you're sticking around, you're still around. There's an older version, I think, of it too. I was supposed to go through it one of these days and see if there's any differences here. But it's a book about the Thoth deck, and I really like it because it comes. I mean, you heard what he was saying already, and it really looks at it from the lens of self work and self healing and non victim narrative, and those are like my big ones that I like in a book. There's a lot of really good tarot books out there, though. I mean, I'm actually really surprised by some of these tarot decks that I have and the books that accompany them and the stuff that they're saying because honestly, they're giving you all the stuff you need right there in the books. It's just if you're ready to hear it and accept it or not. I think it's really it's the whole thing, right? This one too. This is a good one. The Druid Craft Tarot. I have a bigger version too. This is Elizabeth's. It's my Edgar Allan Poe deck. That's a really cool one. Oh, nice. Yeah, here. Mirror of the Soul by Gerd. Just remember Gerd. Good Ziegler. I am good. So 9. Did I finish that? Oh, okay, so for the hermit, there's indications. Accept your aloneness. Don't concern yourself with people who don't understand you. Who would rather see? Okay, so don't concern yourself with people who you don't understand. All right, I'm gonna start again. Accept your aloneness. Don't concern yourself with people who don't understand you, who would rather see you be part of the herd. If you should meet a wise leader or teacher, join him or her. If you should meet a wise leader or teacher, go to morelawsmoreproblems.com for more. uh, Question. Have you any unresolved situations or relationships in your life? Suggestion. Make a list of all situations which you now wish to resolve or in some way bring to completion. Whoever embarks on the search for the eternal light must not be encumbered by unresolved conflicts. Accounts must be settled. Oh, I like that. Got to pay up. Affirmation. I enjoy my aloneness. I can stop being alone whenever I wish. I wish. All right, 9 of this. Game. Did I read this one? No, I did not. Okay. 9 of discs. I know because I pulled this recently and I think I've read it. So that's what it was. Zindra, Tony. All right. So I check something really quick. All right. So I'm going to read the 9 of discs. This is what it looks like. Keywords Venus and Virgo. My moon is a Virgo moon. Growth, gain, bonded by love, wisdom, creativity. The more I give, the more I receive. That is huge. The more I give, the more I receive. There is no lack. There might just be an abundance of lack in your life, but that's still abundance. And it's an abundance of what you're manifesting in your own life because of that little voice in the back of your head that's saying you're not good enough. You're a piece of shit. You should do this. You should fuck that voice. Just have compassion. That voice is a scared little kid that's afraid to go in the deep end of the pool because it's dangerous. But even though the kid has swimmies, he's afraid to venture out to the deep end of the pool because if he's over his head, he'll freak the fuck out. And that's that voice in your head that's freaking the fuck out because it's over his head. You guys know what I mean? It's like a little kid in the pool over his head freaking out. And that's the advice that's being given to you. There's another source, the intuition, the Holy Spirit, the all. Could it be your higher self? Do I have? I wish I need a big cup. Maybe there's part of you that's giving you hints and clues because it's been through this before. It already knows. Or part of your consciousness, which you can't have direct contact with in this physical realm because you might go nuts. Part of that already knows all about this and knows what you should do and is giving you feelings. That's the other voice, the voice that this book was talking about earlier that you can listen to and be guided by. And that other voice that's scared, be like, it's all right, scared voice. I know you're just a scared little baby. You're just a scared little kid over your head in the pool. It's fine. You just relax and let the swimmies do that's what we used to call those things, the floaties, the swimmies. They look like blow them up and stick them on kids' arms and throw them in the pool. I don't know. That's what they used to do to us. At least we had those. Well, I mean, we used to get thrown in without it too. But anyway, you're just a scared little drowning, and I get it. And you just talk to that voice. You say, you know, this looks scary, but watch, it's going to turn out. It's going to be great. You just watch, little voice. Let me make a little bet with you, little voice. We're going to try to do it without any fear. We're just going to do what leads to our greatest excitement. We're going to see what happens. Okay, how about that? And that little voice in your head will be like, I don't know. Are you sure? I'm still pretty scared. I'm a little boy. in a pool over my head, kicking and freaking out. So yeah, that's what's going on. All right, back to the reading. The three discs in the center symbolize the unification of love, which is pink, wisdom, blue, and creativity, green. The central binding force is love, whose color is visible through the other two. I'm going to read that again. The central binding force, the central binding force, the central binding force is love, whose color is visible through the other two. So you can't see it without viewing it through the other two. So it's something you don't have direct contact with. Could it be more like a feeling, like an intuitional thing? Love, agape, this connecting force. If you saw a brick on the ground, you'd be like, all right, that's a brick, and it's all molecules of whatever brick's made out of pushed together. There's a connecting force there. There's something holding it together. What is that? It's love. Not the love that you hear about in movies, in stories, the romance love. I'm talking about we're connected to everybody, whether we want to be or not. You're connected to that fucking asshole who just cut you off in traffic. Ooh, Druidcraft Tarot looks sweet. What's up, PK? Welcome. You know what? I was thinking to myself, this podcast has been going great. It's fucking perfect. It's only missing one thing. And you know what that one thing was? P motherfucking K. You are the man. Thank you for showing up. I love you. You make this world better. And the fact that you're here, the sun, do you see that? Look at my face. It got brighter because the sun just came out. The sun came out because PK is here. That's what a synchronicity. You brought the sun. And now that I have air conditioning in my 92 Buick, I'm excited. Bring the sun. Right. In this painting, Frida Harris portrayed the three-way relationship between herself, Crowley, and his friend Israel Rigardi. The six planet symbols bear their three faces. Crowley's face appears on Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn, the karma planet, influenced his life strongly, causing him to carry out his plans thoroughly, step by step. Rigardi's nickname for him was the King. Was he a smoke king, a drink king, or a fuck king? I'm gonna go ahead and say Aleister Crowley was a triple threat king, and that was. But there's another king synchronicity for you, everybody. Annual note on the symbol for Jupiter. Crowley's head is topped by a crown. Rigardi's head appears on Mars and Mercury. References to his ambition and ability to communicate. These two attributes combine to make him a talented manager. Harris painted her own face on the moon and Venus. In Venus, she expresses her total devotion to art as well as her deep love for Crowley. This love moved her this love moved her to the very depths of her being, the moon. Despite the tension inherent in this triangle, the three realized their common dream, and for all three, the relationship was a great game. The highest task life sets for us is to realize ourselves. The highest task life sets for ourselves. Sorry, the highest task life sets for us is to realize ourselves. I just wanted to read that twice. This happens in carrying out the special tasks assigned to each of us. Retreating from your life's tasks out of fear or a desire to remain comfortable means denying yourself. Gain comes from giving willingly and lovingly. Giving in this sense means also giving yourself to the universe, giving yourself fully to life. The cosmic law of wealth is hereby fulfilled. The more I give, the more I receive. The affirmation, everything that happens today serves my growth. The more I give, the more I receive. I don't know if this could be any more synchronistic to what I've been talking about in this whole podcast. If you didn't catch the beginning, go back to the beginning. Much love, brother. Yes, thank you, PK. Much love to you. I think I recently read that card. Sounds so familiar. Yeah, we might have pulled it recently or something. It does sound very familiar. Oh, PK is usually a nickname, initials for an Indian name. Are you Indian? Dot not feather? Sharon could say that because she's Laotian. She's from Laos. It's an inside joke, everybody. Um, Suggestion: check carefully whether that which you call gain is in full harmony with your ultimate goal. Indications: if your knowledge and creativity are filled with love, you will gain from all situations in life. If your knowledge and creativity are filled with love, which is just this connecting thing, it doesn't mean you have to go out and love everybody and be all mushy. It just means that you can have compassion for them because of their situation, whatever they do to you. You don't feel like a victim. Just inside, you go, you know what? That person probably got smacked around a lot as a kid. I got to give them a break. It's fine. I'm not going to hate them because they cut me off in traffic or whatever the heck they did. Question: do you know what the highest goal in your question? Do you know what is the highest goal in your life? Nine of disc. Check carefully whether that which you call gain is in full harmony with your ultimate goal. That's a really good one too. But that's okay if it's not. It'll push you back. If you're getting some resistance, you'll figure it out. I have faith in you. PK, I have faith in you. Sharon and Tony and Zindra. La la la. And Quiet Sparky Bear. Should we do one more random card pull? Rando Jones. I think I could just talk for all day. My voice is gonna get sore. Next week we're like, welcome to the Over Sharon. Welcome to the Over Sharon Show. I'm Brandon. This is Sharon. We're gonna be whispering today. We're gonna be whispering. Now, isn't that something? This is the divider card that comes with the deck. That was pretty cool. It's like a little. It's a try again card. It's like the Magic 8 Ball. All right, guys. Oh, I thought it was the Two of Cups. It is the Two of Cups again. I thought it was. You guys all just saw that. You guys all just saw that. Yeah, throw the deck PK. But just so you know, I pulled this card earlier and we talked all about it. And when I was looking at the reflection, for some reason, I thought it was the three because it looked like there's three cups. At first, I thought it was the two. Then I thought it was the three. And then I looked at it and I saw it was the two. So I don't know what to tell you. That's for you, Tony. Wow. All right. Well, this card's on the bottom. I did want to talk about a major arcana card. So we could talk about this card. The Magician, the one, the Magi. It's funny because earlier I'm like, I want to talk about a major arcana card. And this brought me back to it. So when I tell you guys that I've been having some crazy synchronicities, I hope you can now see what I'm talking about. That's crazy. So the Magician. I'm gonna say a few things about it, and then we'll read from the book. Let me just get some water. I always pour water for myself, and then I hardly ever drink it. While I'm podcasting, I mean, my zero water filter. So the magician is the one. Infinite potential is one because one could be any one is in every number in all numbers. So it could be anything it wants to be. It's that masculine energy that you want to create, but it's the potential of it. And then as we go along, you get the emperor, and that's more the action, I think, of the card. The magician is all about potential. And it's the one, it's the first step that you're taking. That's a tough one, though. It may take a lifetime to figure out your ultimate goal. Then when you do, how do you know? That's, you know what? I was thinking the same thing, PK. Oh, there's a dragonfly outside my window. He flew away, but he wanted to make a guest appearance, this dragonfly. I love dragonflies. I was thinking the same thing, PK, and I almost didn't read that because, when people say you got to set goals and all this stuff, I feel like when you're setting goals, in a way, it's good to set goals, but also you can look at it as you're kind of trying to make your own, like make this like your God, and you can make this whole universe your own thing, right? Are we all up and coming magicians? I believe we are all magicians, Indra. So I wasn't going to read it, but I did read it because it was there and it came up. And the way I'm starting to translate really what they could mean is or what you could do is just be very broad and have it something like, I just want to raise my consciousness level. I just want to be the best version of myself I can be. I just want to not be a victim in all situations. Things like that. I think goals like that are better than having a goal like, oh, I want to start this and do that and have exactly one of these and get. For some people, I think that's the right way to do it. But for other people, or especially like artists and stuff, if you're more artistic, but hey, Bashar, and even like Joel Goldsmith and a lot of these people just say, do whatever gets you excited. So yeah, purpose. There you go. Purpose. And like I was saying before, I think my purpose is just make people smile. If I have a purpose and a goal, my purpose is to just make people smile. I don't have to worry about meeting that deadline specifically. I could just do it on a daily basis, right? I have had Zindra. I have had so much dragonfly sinks lately. Love them. One that I took outside from being stuck in a window and it just stayed on my finger for a while. And yesterday I saw two mating and flying. LOL. Yeah, they loved it. I mean, listen, if you could fly, wouldn't you want to mate and fly? I mean, anyway. So yeah, I have a picture of a dragonfly. It was like 2022. I was sitting out in my parents' front yard, and one landed on my knee. I was like sitting with my knees up, and it just was chilling there for a while. It's really cool. So magicians, I think I'll read from the book. I think I was saying something that I didn't finish, but it'll come back to me. In the middle of the night, the Magus. I showed you what it was like. Okay. Keyword Mercury communication. Playful dealings with all possible forms of communication, flexibility, brilliance. The Magus is represented by the Greek god Mercury, the messenger with wings of pure spirit. See the yellow wings on his feet. Mercury bears energy which spreads and radiates from him. The card represents the will, wisdom, and the word through which the world was created. I like the alliteration there. Gerd. I like what you did there. Gerd. Mercury balances with great skill on the tip of a surfboard shaped stand and juggles with the different tools of communication. Oh, I didn't realize that looked like a surfboard. Ah, interesting. He is a genius at using all the possibilities available to him. In his duality, Mercury stands for the true. In his duality, Mercury stands for truth and falsehood. He brings all set ideas and judgments into question, which often makes him appear in a questionable light himself. As a creative creature, he knows no conscience. He uses all tools, all methods to arrive at his goal. The temptation to misuse his talents is great. His ability and skill lend him superiority and power. He moves on the narrow border between white and black magic. This means he needs constant self-examination. He can use his talents in a self-seeking manner or in a service of love and light. That's a little off one synchronicity right there for you. And I like this because it's also reminds me of my breakdown of Star Wars, Jedis and the light and the dark, and the Sith and the Jedi, and how one was light, one was black, and that's why they both were effed up. And Luke was the one that was like the quote unquote savior hero figure because he embodied both the dark and the light. I mean, he dressed in all black. He did what he wanted. He was Luke effing Skywalker. You know what I mean? This guy walked in a room, he lit up a room. You know, I mean, yeah, he used his lightsaber, but the room still lit up. Am I wrong? Right? This guy would walk in a room. Luke freaking Skywalker walked in there, lit up the whole room. He just lit it up. And then he cut some guy's arm off. Oh no, that was Obi-Wan. I don't know. I had too much to drink. All right, I'm back. I didn't drink. That character was drunk, not me. But officer, I'm not. It's the character. He's dealing with you right now. Brandon was driving. He's not drunk. The character's drunk. The Magus. All right. So the love and light, I like that part. It's constant self-examination, using the dark and the light kind of thing, balancing. It's a balance. PK, they say dragonflies are the ultimate predator, like the lion of the bug world. I'm still testing the theory. What if a dragonfly is around? The mosquitoes run away. Ooh, we could get a dragonfly tattoo. I could tell you from personal experience, though, frog tattoos don't work because I got a frog tattoo. Are we doing this? We are. Look at that. It's a little ashy. It's from 1998. Look at that thing. It doesn't keep the bugs away. I tried. See? I still try to keep bugs away. I didn't once just try it with this brilliant idea of tattooing a frog on my leg to keep the bugs away. And then when it failed, I wasn't like, oh, I guess I'm just going to get eaten by bugs now. No, I used to see, you got to keep getting up. Back on the horse. All right. In this painting, the Magus plays with the possibilities of communication. He wears a smile, meaning that he communicates with humor. Sounds familiar. The humorous, playful ease with which he manipulates his ability is an indication of its potential positive use. The monkey is a companion to the Egyptian god of wisdom. Thoth. The monkey is a companion to the Egyptian god of wisdom, Thoth. He illustrates that wisdom can never be regulated in set ways. Any external manifestation, for example through words, includes in it some illusion. The objects Mercury juggles represent different realms of communication. For example, coins, body matter, finance, fire, inspiration, transformation dynamics, the wand, philosophy, religion, spirituality. The arrow, directness, honesty, purposefulness. The scroll, writing and publication. Winged egg, extrasensory perception. Telepathy, telepathy, if you will. Telepathy. Cup with the snake, emotions, relationships, and sexuality. The sword, intellect, logic, and analysis. What's going on in the chat? I'm going to take a little bit of a sip. I'll tell you one thing. This card is really inspiring me. I like the humor, the use of humor, because the way a lot of this works with problems that happen and arise in situations, it's the same kind of thing that happens in humor. It's this like either synchronistic or ridiculous, but instead of being ridiculous, things work out in such a way that messed up shit happens to you, but there's still an element of humor or surprise or like misdirection, or also an element of karma and people getting what they deserve kind of thing. It's like this whole way the universal realm works. So I feel like that's why humor is such, I can't say it enough. Humor is such, it's such Like Charlie Brown with his nose. It's such an important thing. It really does. It helps people accept things and let things go. Yes, specifically for the Thoth deck. I showed this earlier too before you showed up at Tarot on the Thoth deck. It's by Good Ziegler. That's why earlier I was like, nice alliteration. Good. I see what you did there. The two snakes at his head are an ancient Egyptian symbol for healing and regeneration. Caduceus. It's a caduceus. In this context, they refer to the regeneration of thought. Above them is the Eye of Horus, god of perception. With the symbol of a dove, bearer of the spirit, the Magus receives inspiration from the soul of the universe, whose message he spreads it on Earth. This is more strongly expressed by the blue-yellow energy beam which enters his head, penetrates through his body, and emerges again at his feet. He cannot fulfill his tasks without constantly remaining in touch with the spiritual forces of the universe. He is always in the service of a superior. He is always in the I'm going to rewind and try that again. He is always in the service of a superior law. When he recognizes and accepts this as his true function, he bears clarifying light into the darkness of ignorance and misunderstanding. Yeah, I'm officially a Brandon Bonanza fanboy. That's right, Tony. You're on the wagon. Yeah, have fun tonight. A hella drug, yes, sir. Yeah, humor is a hell of a drug. I shared it with him because I got gifted some decks and books from a friend whose mom died and had lots of decks. That was one of the books. Yeah. All right, Sharon, I'll see you later. I'm wrapping this up anyway. Thank you guys for hanging out so much on the Brandon Bonanza Show. Brandon Bonanza Show. My neck is so sore. I will put out healing energy and love. Get that tuning fork. Elizabeth got hers in the mail. She put it in my ear earlier. It's the 222. I was like, oh, it's 402. All right, really quickly, we get out of here. Indications. If you have at your disposal brilliant capabilities, which you should share with other people. Oh, indications. You have at your disposal brilliant capabilities, which you should share with other people. One important task is to find or create the proper surroundings for your activities. Questions. In what areas lie your talents? With what methods and in what surroundings can you pass them on or share them? Suggestion. Visualize your ideal area of activity. Describe it. I like how it keeps talking about area, like where you're going to be in this realm. What frequency will you be at, tuned into? Ape of Thoth. Okay. Exactly. I'm just going to pin this really quick. Boom. Yes. We've talked about Aleister Crowley a lot. We're probably going to be doing an episode on him in the future, but we feel like we don't worship him or we don't hate him. We don't put him on a pedestal. We don't put him in the pit. We don't demonize him and we don't idolize him. I just think that, his deck is really beautiful art. And I think it was kind of channeled. It came through spirit. So even if he had all the nefarious intentions in the world, despite that, God was like, you know what? I'm going to make your deck awesome and it's going to help people. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't trying to help people. Who knows? I never met the guy or talked to him. Suggestions. So I said that affirmation, the last one, affirmation, the full expression of my creative potential fulfills me and makes me happy and satisfied. Or what you should do is read this in third person. And I will say the full expression of Sharon's creative potential fills Sharon and makes Sharon happy and satisfied. There you go. All right, everybody. This has been a lovely, if I might say, Outstanding episode of the Brandon Bonanza podcast. You're welcome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I had such a great time and some good laughs. We laughed, we cried, but like all good things, the show must come to an end. So I'm gonna play the show. Stay tuned next week. We'll be back to the oversharing. We're gonna be oversharing about 2020. We're gonna be oversharing about Sharon's mom and the incident and all that stuff that she went through. We're gonna be oversharing about how amazing life is and what a gift it is. Look at my eyes. They're not two different colors, it's just the sun. Get those green. There we go. If I look at the camera, it'll probably work better. I can't see it, but there we go. All right. Remember, everybody, I would tell you to stay amazing, but there's no way you guys cannot be amazing. So take care. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bonanza, we're hanging out. It's the Brandon Bonanza Show. Bonanza, we're hanging out on the Brandon Bonanza Show. Hanging out on the Brandon Bonanza Show. Yeah.
Yeah. Later, everybody. See you. There goes my voice. See you later.